Yo guys, welcome back to another Albion Online video. Here's the video that some of you have been waiting for. It's the one-handed dagger builds that I've been using in my latest videos. This build is getting so much love recently and it's really nice to see the one-handed dagger in a good spot after 2 years. This video is going to be a long video, so if you want to find a specific point, just look for the timestamps in the description below. These builds are focused for PvE clearing solo and group dungeons, not for PvP, so let's get started. Let's not waste any time and jump straight into the first build. It's going to be the attack speed build. So the weapon is a no-brainer, it's the one-handed dagger, and right now in my opinion the best solo fame farming weapon in the game hands down. You want it on the Assassin Spirit Q for the damage buff or the AOE Q to clear mobs faster, and you want throwing blades on the W for the damage buff. For the passive you want to have it on the haste, the one which every 6 attacks you get an attack speed buff. You want to make sure this is up before you use your Dagger AOE ability. For the offhand you want a torch, it gives you attack speed and cooldown reduction, what's not to like. Let's move on to the armor pieces. In the helmet slot you want the Assassin's Hood with meditation, which takes 15 seconds off your skill cooldowns. This is used after your Dagger E and R abilities have been used. It's basically a 3-second reset with the boots. Next up is the chest piece. You want to have the Hunter's Jacket. You want it on haste, which gives you an attack speed of 60% and then 20% damage increase for 8 seconds. For the passive you want it on the attack speed. In the shoe slot you want any leather boots, since the skill you want is Refreshing Sprint. This skill is available on all the leather shoes. What it does is reduce the cooldown of your skills by a few seconds. If you want to go for the cheapest option, this would be the Mercenary shoes. If you want to level artifact leather boots, it would be Specter shoes. I would recommend Specter shoes since you can use the invisibility skill to skip mob packs that you don't want to fight if you're solo fame farming. For the cape slot, you want the Morgana's cape. The Morgana's cape gives you a 50% attack speed buff for 8 seconds. Now just a quick heads up on the active attack speed buffs. In the build you will get 3 active buffs: the dagger buff, the hunter jacket buff and the Morgana cape buff. If you combine all of them, which is 30, 60, 50, it will equal 140, so that's 140% attack speed buff. Now to my current knowledge, the current attack speed buff is 120%. That means you're losing out on 20% attack speed if you activate them all at one time. I have not tested enough to see if the 20% is impactful on gameplay, but while you're having your Dagger E up, use both of the active buffs to maximize damage. The passive buffs on the armor sets are not included in this calculation since they are passive buffs, and as of yet I don't think there's a passive buff cap. Next, food and potions. You want to have one of the following: beef stew for the damage buff, pork omelette for the cooldown buff, and soup/fish for the HP regen. Pick which one works for you. For potions, you can have healing potions as an emergency, poisons potions for the extra damage on the bosses, and an invisibility potion if you're going to the red and black zones. Or if you plan to faction flag with the potion, I recommend you pocket an escape weapon such as a double bladed staff. When you're in trouble, hit the invisibility potion, switch to the escape weapon and then get the hell out of there. Since this is a full attack speed build, you want to hit your Q before you initiate if you're using the Assassin Spirit, or the Q into the mobs if you're using the AOE leap skill. Then W at least 2 mobs and then R for the attack speed to build up dagger passive. When it's up, hit your E for the maximum damage. Make sure you don't double tap E, since it's a toggle skill you will cancel the Dagger E and it will deal normal damage. After both your E and R buffs are gone, you want to create some distance with your Refreshing Sprint F and then use your Assassin's Hood D. With this, your whole skill rotation should be reset, so all you have to do is rinse and repeat till everything is dead. Let's move on to the next build. This build is the same as the first build, however you want to switch the Morgana's cape to a Keeper's cape. The Keeper's cape gives you a 50% damage increase for 5 seconds. You want to time it so that your cape goes off when you start your R and E combo. For the food, you want to run beef stew or Avalonian beef stew if you've got money to burn. For potions, always keep one invisibility and bring poisons. Use the poisons as soon as they're off cooldown, and if you're in the red or black zones, keep the invisibility equipped and get ready to run for your life at any time. I prefer using this build since the extra damage buff gives me just enough of a damage increase to kill one mob outright in the first combo. Now onto the skill rotation. It's pretty much the same as the first build. Q, W, R, E, F, D. Rinse and repeat so everything dies at your feet and drops stuff for you. Now onto the final build. Here's where it gets a little interesting. For this build, you're going to change up a few items. On the weapon, you want to change to the AOE Q. For the armor piece, you want to switch to the Specter's jacket on self-immolation and the attack speed passive. For the boots, you want Guardian boots on giant and toughness. An optional thing you can change is change the torch to a taproot for the extra health. Finally, you want the demon cape for the extra AOE damage. Now this build requires a bit more skill than the first two, since you have to manage your health a bit more and the skill cooldowns change to different timings. The skill rotation for this build is to Q into the mobs, auto attack to activate the demon cape, then use your Specter jacket R and your Dagger E. Once you're out of lifesteal from the Dagger E, you want to use your Guardian boots F and then your Assassin hood D. Q a few more times till you have your E back up, and then W if you need the extra damage to finish off the mobs. You can choose to end your Specter jacket early if you want to get the benefit of the Assassin's Hood cooldown ability. The Specter jacket is a toggle skill, so make sure you don't double tap R. Just be careful since you'll be taking a lot of damage with this build, so test it a few times in the yellow zone dungeons to get the rotation and timing down before you take it to the red or black zone. With my testing, I find this build does the most damage and lets you clear mob packs of 2 with ease. If it's packs of 3, you will need to kill 1 and reset. I don't think newer players with low specialization should use this build since it becomes better with the higher specialization and the item power. That being said, this is a fun build to do in tier 5 zones every now and again when you're bored of doing the normal builds. This build also allows you to clear single green bosses mobs with ease. Since the Specter jacket deals so much damage per second, just time it so you heal with your Dagger E when you get low and reset with your hood so you always have it up and ready. Overall tips. Don't use your Dagger W skill every time it's off cooldown. This will drain your energy and cause energy issues. You want to use it to pull mobs / initiate combat. Make sure to hit at least 2 to 3 mobs for the maximum damage buff. Alternatively, you can use it when all of the mobs have been pulled and before you start your lifesteal haste combo for a few extra seconds of extra damage. After every mob kill, just take a quick glance at the map or the path you have been travelling through the dungeon to make sure you don't get dove or ganked. If you get into a PvP situation, running is your best option. However, if they have used their sprint to catch up to you and they don't have a mobility skill on their weapon, then you can easily kill 1 or 2 reds. Be wary of purges, they hard counter this build. Silence, on the other hand, not so much if you have some buffs active. The final tip is to experiment with different setups. That's the beauty of this game, you can try anything and everything. For example, I use a torch in my builds because it's cheap and new player friendly. However, if you look at Albion Pew Pew's comments on his Dagger build or on Rusty's video on his solo flame plumbing build, they recommend the Crypt Candle for more damage. So it's all up to you on your economy and your playstyle. If you have any tips that you think I have missed, leave them in the comment section below. I will play some reference videos now so that you can look through them and see what build you like and what type you would like to play with. Check out the description for the timestamps of all the builds. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Dagger, dagger, dagger.